Well, hello everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to our webinar on the road to your MBA. And when we say MBA, we're talking about an online MBA, which offers great flexibility. You can retain your job and your income while you're getting your degree. You can apply what you learn in the classroom immediately at work. You don't have to endure the opportunity cost of quitting your job and losing that income. And you would be able to not necessarily have to wait around to the fall to enroll because most of these programs have multiple intakes, allowing you to enter the program at different times of the year. The other beautiful thing about an online MBA, frankly, is that it's expandable in most cases. You can do it in a shorter period of amount of time, but usually programs allow up to 5 or even more years to finish the degree, which allows you to take a break if your professional demands become uh, sort of unapproachable in the sense that they're unmanageable with an academic rigorous degree program, or in fact, you have personal commitments that you need to honor and take a break. So today we have four great online MBA programs from four universities. And one thing I want to impress on you is to listen closely to the differences because a lot of people would say an online MBA is an online MBA, but it really isn't. An online MBA comes in many forms, many variations. Some are no frills and straightforward. Others have lots of bells and whistles and attachments to them. Some have in-person residencies, others don't. Some have immersions globally and domestically, others don't. Some have a full array of electives, others have very limited electives, if any. So you need to listen to how our representatives here describe their programs and see the differences and see which one most appeals to you. So let me introduce everyone to you. From Indiana University's Kelley School of Business, we have Abigail Gishwin, Director of Admissions and Financial Aid. From Purdue University, we have Steve Bush, the Senior Program Manager of the Online MBA. From the University of Illinois Gies College of Business, we have Casey Jones, the Director of Graduate Recruitment and Admissions. And from Michigan State University's Eli Broad School, we have Kara Trippi, the Managing Director of Admissions. So let's start with Abigail at Kelley. Give us a little rundown on Kelley's history with the online MBA. I know it started when you guys were sending out VHS tapes in the mail, which would have been quite a long time ago, maybe even before some of the people watching this will have been born.
Yes, thanks so much, John. It's lovely to be here speaking with all of you prospective applicants and prospective online MBA students. So like John said, I'm with the Kelley Direct Online MBA program here at the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University. And like John said, we pioneered the online MBA experience back in 1999. So we've been around since the 90s and we continue to set the standard today. So we are the #1 ranked online MBA program across at least 4 different rankings bodies. And that's really just a reflection of the high quality student experience that we are honored to offer all of our students. So I would say innovation and excellence are two of our core values where we always prioritize creating the most value as possible for our students. And we do everything in-house here at Kelley Direct, so we don't outsource any of our instruction, any of our staffing, any of our course design. So everything is here built by Kelley School of Business faculty and staff to give you the very best so that you can learn the best curriculum from the best instructors alongside, some of the best classmates that you'll ever have the honor of learning with. So we have an amazing program here at Kelley Direct, and I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you more about the program.
Great. Okay, Steve, give us the lowdown on Purdue's program.
Sure. Hello, my name's Steve Bush. I am, as John said, the program manager for the online MBA at Daniel School of Business. And the MBA program came along back in 2020 at Purdue Daniel School, and it offers industry-specific personalization opportunities, and a very flexible curriculum for students to engage in. We're very much a STEM-based curriculum. We like to say that we sit at the intersection of technology and business at the Daniels School. We have been around, like I said, since 2020. So just having our 5th year birthday this year, we have grown and we've had a lot of great opportunities to innovate and look at the space to really help students reach their career goals, both academically and through the support mechanisms that we have with our student success coaching and additionally with our career services. Flexibility is key with us, as you might have read on our website at one point in time, not just in the asynchronicity of our program itself, but also with the wide array of elective offerings that we have for our students. Just about half our curriculum is opened up. 20 out of the 48 credit hours are opened up for electives, so students can really get the type of training and education that they yearn for in order to move up that career ladder and to achieve their goals.
Great. I'm thinking that maybe the Purdue program is the youngest of the group here.
It's not.
Okay, there you go. Well, Casey, tell us about the Gies program.
Yeah, thanks, John, and really glad to be in this panel today with what I call the core Big Ten, some core Big Ten peers. It
Indeed.
grows every year, but I love our Midwesterners that we have represented here. My name is Casey Jones. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions and Recruitment for Gies College of Business, which of course includes our online MBA program, which is known as the IMBA. We launched in 2016, so we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary in 2026 and really excited about that. When we launched, we had a mission to provide an affordable and high quality online MBA, really kind of shake up the market, democratize education by expanding access in a lot of different ways across the globe, but also across industries and levels of experience. That's still really a core mission of our program, but I think we've grown to become so much more than just an affordable degree. There's a lot of flexibility built in, there's stackability built in, so you don't have to jump right into the MBA if that's you're still trying to figure things out. You could start with a single course or a graduate certificate or even a smaller degree credential and then build into your MBA experience. Our program is designed as a combination of asynchronous and synchronous learning. So flexibility is, of course, key for that working professional. We want to ensure you have the flexibility to do that core work on your own, but also the experience of working in groups and teams and experiencing the diversity of the cohort. And then, of course, our top faculty here at Illinois. We've continued to build the specializations and focus areas that you can take in the program. We're doing a lot of cross collaboration across campus right now, which is really nice. We just launched a new specialization in healthcare innovation, design, and entrepreneurship this fall. So that's really exciting. Healthcare is an area that we've heard again and again that our students are looking for. So that's going tremendously well. And then while there's no requirements to be on campus at any time for our program, we offer a lot of opportunities for in-person engagement through an annual event on campus called iConverge, through global and domestic immersions, through meetups in regional locations. So just gathering, if I live in the Bay Area, I've got a group of peer students and alums that live there as well, and great collaboration and networking available. I think that's still one of the most common questions that we get about the online space is how do I network? Am I going to miss out on that networking opportunity? And we really feel like you have a even greater opportunity to network in the online space and again, grow that network regionally, domestically, globally, and across the span of industries.
So clearly, Kara, the Broad College of Business is the new kid on the block with an
We
online MBA.
are. Yeah, we are. So we are launching the online MBA for our first cohort for fall of 2026. So
Wow,
we are the new
congratulations.
kids on the block. I think we are the only Big Ten institution that does not offer an online MBA at this point. We have been talking about the online MBA since 2019. but now we feel like we've finally gotten to a point where we can deliver a strong program. It is a modality of our executive MBA, so that's a little bit different than my peers on the call right now. And we are the oldest public executive MBA program in the country, founded in 1964. So the course curriculum is exactly the same as our executive MBA program. So focusing on integrative management, leadership, and that really blends the what and the why with the real world application for us. Obviously, we don't know what we don't know at this point, but our faculty members have really been on board to develop the strongest curriculum as possible. And we're hoping that the online MBA will deliver immediate impact. So you learn during the week and you can apply that following Monday. Again, we try to be one of the most affordable programs within the Big Ten and delivering on that ROI. So we are really excited to welcome our first cohort of online MBAs to be in our Spartan family. So thank you.
Now, I know that Broad has had a long history of being really strong in supply chain management, and I wonder if that's a concentration or part of your online MBA offering.
Yeah, so our executive MBA students actually don't concentrate in a subsection. Our full-times do, but our executive MBA and then the online modality is 42 credits from start to finish with no concentrations. There will be chances for certificates and electives though. So if somebody wanted to hone in on that supply chain management piece, they absolutely can. And you're right, John, we are a top supply chain school. For the last 15 years, we've been ranked number 1 or number 2 in that. It's exciting to be in the supply chain field just because everything that's happening with tariffs and, storage containers.
Indeed.
Lots of demand for that. So yeah, we do see a high demand for online MBA students to seek that supply chain expertise.
So for our viewers, let's deal with the nuts and bolts of each program. So what I'd love to know is how many intakes you have, how long it takes to complete the program, both the shortest period of time and the longest period of time, and how many hours per week would a typical online student spend in your program. So Kara, let's stay with you and start with Eli.
Sure. Sure. So our program can be completed in 19 or 28 months. If a student were to take it the 19-month route, they'd take 3 courses every 8 weeks. And if they do the 28-month route, they'd take 2 courses every 8 weeks. Per MSU, you can take up to 5 years for an online MBA program, but we don't feel that that's the best route for the immediate impact on a student's organization. Our program is going to be completely asynchronous. So there is an optional weekly sync session that students can partake in, and we're going to only offer a fall start. So 1 cohort a year in the fall. We do have the option for students to partake in the global marketplace residency. I'm assuming all of our peers will have some sort of residency option, but that global marketplace residency will count for international business credit, and our students go to different locations across the globe, visiting mom and pop shops to multi-billion-dollar industries. So hours a week, we're anticipating 10 to 12 hours outside of the recorded sessions with our faculty. So it really is flexibility and a choose your own adventure path.
And on that global immersion, which is voluntary, would you combine your executive MBA students in person with your online MBA students or not?
Correct. Yes, that's correct. So again, we always want to frame it as it's an executive MBA piece with an online modality. So yes, there will be times to interact with our, I'll say, traditional EMBA students, our hybrid EMBA students, and then of course our EMBA students that are focusing on the online journey. So lots of integration and lots of resources that students can take advantage of at Michigan State, even in the virtual world.
Okay, great. Casey, the ins and outs of the IMBA program at Gies.
Yeah, so we actually have 5 intakes per year. So you can start in January, March, May, August, or October. Keeps us busy in the
I
admissions
bet
world.
you it does.
Uh, The standard time to complete is 2 to 3 years. So we also run 8-week courses. So if you are looking to complete the degree in 2 years, you're typically taking 2 courses every 8-week session. If you expand it out over 3 years, generally just need to take 1 course per 8-week session. We do have a time frame allowing you up to 5 years to complete the degree as well, though, if desired, if you need to take some time off, that flexibility is certainly built in. We generally recommend 10 to 15 hours of work per week per course. So again, that's really driving how long the total completion of your degree looks like.
I know I've met some of your students who actually stretched it out so that they could take full advantage of the scholarship aid that their corporations gave them and really had to pay nothing for the degree as a result. So that's another issue when you can stretch the degree out. If you wanted to time it with a reimbursement program by your company, that immediately brings your ROI higher and makes your outlying cost very low. So, Steve, at Purdue, how many intakes do you have? How many hours do you think a typical student spends in the program? And what's the shortest and longest time you can do it in?
Sure. Yeah. So we have 3 intakes as well, fall, spring, and summer. Application deadlines for each respective semester are August 1st for the fall, December 1st for the spring, and April 1st for the summer. We run a 16-week semester, so we're going all year round. Those 16 weeks are broken up into 2 modules themselves. Students also have the option, depending on when they get their application in and really what works best for them, to do a module 2 start within our 16-week term, to where they come in 8 weeks into the term and they're able to take courses in the back half of the semester. It's not an official intake, but there are exceptions that we do make for students to make sure that we meet them where they're at. When it comes to time to completion, we're looking at about 2 years on average. Our program is built for 6 semesters for students to go ahead and complete. For those very highly ambitious students who are able to dedicate a large portion of their time to study, it is possible to complete the program within 5 semesters, but that is an ambitious plan of study, and you are going to have to work in order to really obtain that goal and to maintain satisfactory academic progress. The ceiling that we have for the program is similar to my colleagues in here, 5 years. You're able to complete the program with a limit of 5 years. And after that 5 year period, you would have to go ahead and reapply. Sometimes it does take a little while for students. I know there was another individual here that mentioned, people might have to step out for whatever
Mhm.
reason they might have. We allow for leave of absences, and you can take a leave for up to 3 consecutive terms until you have to reapply. The great thing is we have success coaching built into both uh, uh, off-ramp and on-ramp students back into the program whenever they have a life event or a work event that's going to prevent them from continuing on their track. And then as far as hours per week, we're looking at about 15 to 20 hours a week. We are very much a data-driven, STEM-based, quant-heavy program. So depending on the courses that you are taking that term, of course, the amount of work that you'll put in outside of the classroom is going to vary from term to term, but that 15 to 20 hour mark is what you can expect.
And at Kelly, Abigail, how many intakes do you have now? And give us a sense of the length of the program and the hours required by a student.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 2 cohorts per year, spring and fall. Our spring cohort starts in February and fall begins in August. And we're still accepting applications for the spring 2026 class. So December 31st is the deadline for that application. Our program is typically completed between 2 to 3 years. So 3 years is the maximum time frame, but most people do complete pretty closely to our 2 year plan. We operate on a 12-week quarter model, so all of our courses are 12 weeks long. And in terms of time requirements, we estimate 15 to 20 hours per week. But of course, that does depend on your personal study habits and schedule and all of those good things. And in case I didn't mention it before, our full program is 54 credits, and half of those are dedicated to core classes and then half electives. So you do have a lot of room kind of in that second year to play around with electives. You can declare a major if you'd like to. We have 7 different majors, or you could do the general MBA track. And all of our classes are live, synchronous classes that meet each one time per week. Of course, there's asynchronous material, group work outside of class, things like that to round out the studies, but each class does require live attendance via Zoom with our Kelley faculty. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to ask my favorite question, which is this. When I go to a campus, I try to corral a few students and go to a bar with me, and we have a beer together. And one of the questions I ask is, name 3 things about your MBA program that you think will endure well past your graduation. Hallmarks of the program that you really look forward to, you really enjoyed, really made a difference to you. If I were to ask Kelley MBA graduates of the online option what those 3 are, what do you think they'd tell me, Abigail?
Mm-hmm. I love that question. So I think the first thing would be our Kelley Direct magic moments. And what I mean by that are the in-person experiences that we offer. So the 2 required in-person experiences, but then also the global immersions, which we offer, 5 or 6 of those each year. So those experiences are really what our students talk about from day one all the way up until graduation, and what they remember for years and years and years to come. So the KD magic moments that we offer is one thing that I think will endure, as well as just the people. I think relationships and community and networking is extremely important here at Kelley Direct, where we offer so many opportunities to connect virtually and in person, where this is a transformational experience where you walk away with lifelong friends. And, Kelley has the largest living alumni network of any business school, and Indiana University now has the largest living alumni network as well of any university in the US. So I think the people and the network is huge. And then the last thing I think is just excellence. The quality of education that we offer is unmatched, and I think the experience you get with our program, we've built it to essentially be an online MBA that feels like an in-person program. So I think that excellence is something that's always one of our North Stars, and that will never change either.
I want to come back to your magic moments.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about what students do when they go back and when they actually come to campus for an in-residence session.
Yes. So our first magic moment is called Kelley on Campus, and that is the first year residency experience for our first year MBA students. Usually you do it in your first quarter or your second quarter. So that's 5 days here in the beautiful Bloomington, Indiana, on our flagship campus, where you get to work on a team of about 5 students, and it's a unique bespoke experience that we design for each cohort, where we pick a live client that the whole cohort will get to work with. So essentially, you'll be in faculty sessions, learning our curriculum for how to dive into the case and analyze the market. And then after each faculty session, you get to go into a breakout room and immediately apply what you learn with your team as you're building your pitch. And then on the last day, you get to, pitch to the faculty and client judges. And there's a winner from each room with an award ceremony. But there's also networking events. You get to meet your academic advisor, career coach. And it's just a really fun, kind of high octane, high energy 5 days. So that's the first one. Our second one is we have a few different options, some in the fall and some in the spring. So some of the options are Kelley on Location, which are themed conference style experiences. We host one in a different US city each year. So previously this year we did Louisville. The theme to that one was called Develop, Discover, Deliver. It was all about sort of personal development and professional development and just leveling up in general. And then next year we'll be doing one in Atlanta. So that is one of our second year Magic Moments. And soon we'll be offering a new Kelley Direct Magic Moment for second year students called Kelley on Success. And this one is all about career success. So this experience will be blending inspiring keynote speakers, real-world learning, and hands-on coaching in our new career labs to help you discover and tell your unique career story. So lots of info there, and we can talk more about our international immersions perhaps later, but we also do offer optional international trips too.
Great. Steve, the three things at Purdue's Daniel School.
Yeah, so the main thing that kind of differentiates us from what we've already heard is that data-driven mindset that we are going to instill in students. We're going to train you to make informed decisions based off of quantitative information that comes your way, and then to further add that context and to tell stories with that data so you could build strategy, forecast, and improve your company's operations as well. Additionally, and I'd have to agree, although a lot of our students are online on purpose, there still needs to be a sense of community that's built, whether that's in the virtual realm or in person. What we are really proud of and what we've started over the last 2 years is we offer a couple of different elective options where students complete a large part of their coursework online asynchronously, like they would typically do in a normal 8-week course. But then they essentially come to campus for a weekend and they do their capstone project for that course in particular. If you're looking at our curriculum online, those courses that you're going to be interested in are Technology Landscape, which is coming your way this spring 2026, and Leadership with Empathy, which runs during the summer. And outside of the academic component to those immersive weekends, we get that networking, we get that team building aspect on campus with all these people that you've seen in a box on your screen but haven't seen in person. So we do treat students to networking opportunities with them, taking them out to dinners, lunches, but more importantly, allowing them to really experience West Lafayette and the Purdue University campus firsthand through different types of exclusive tours that aren't open to the public. For example, touring Mackey Arena, Ross-Ade Stadium, going on exclusive lab tours of the different innovations that they're learning about in class as well. So that sense of community is also something that we like to build and allow students to opt into if they so choose to do so by taking the given electives where that is possible. And then finally, our Business Career Services department. Business Career Services is much more than just a resume and career, not career, but cover letter writing center. It's actually a center where you could get executive level coaching to give you that final coat of polish if you're getting ready to go into the C-suite or just pursue another type of leadership role. Those types of skills are really going to endure after graduation and are going to be important to our students because a lot of our students, they aren't necessarily looking to change careers when they come to our program. They want to become better professionals in their current industry at the time.
Right. Great. Now, Casey at Gies, what are the three takeaways for your graduates?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind just echoes my colleagues. When you come for in-person opportunities, there's so much takeaway from there and a really great experience. When you've been online, I think you value that in-person connection and meeting people face to face. So I completely agree there. I think the second thing is the faculty engagement with our online students. Our faculty want to teach in online, right? They're asking to do so. They're asking to work with these working professionals that challenge them. And so even just because you're in an online program doesn't mean that you don't have that same connection with faculty, which I think is really important and maybe something that's sometimes misstrued in the online space. And then the last thing, and I think Kara hit on this, is the immediate return on investment. It's really taking that knowledge that you're learning in the classroom and applying it directly to work, or vice versa, taking something that maybe is a challenge in work today and bringing it to a new group of individuals in the classroom. And how would you tackle this? How does this look in your industry or sector? I think that's incredibly valuable. Most MBA programs require some work experience. Ours does. And because we want that collaboration with your peers is incredibly important. In addition to the curriculum that you're getting, it's that real-time application of it that's incredibly important.
Right. Now, Kara, this is a little more difficult for you because you don't have students and graduates of your program. So you're going to have to assume that there are three signature things about your program that graduates will likely take away. What are they?
Well, John, I've been in the MBA space and admissions now for 7 years, working with our EMBA students and our full-time MBA students. So I think that Spartan brand is something that I'm extremely familiar with. The reason we were so hesitant to go into the online MBA space is because we didn't want the online MBA to be a transactional relationship, right? We didn't want our brand to be associated with the quickest, easiest, cheapest way to get the MBA. So we really wanted to have an intentional MBA experience in a virtual world. I think that choosing an MBA and choosing a school is such an emotional experience, right? And especially when you're talking to working professionals, they're sacrificing a lot to pursue their MBAs. So for us, I always say our MBA experience is boutique in a larger Big Ten sense, right? You're not going to have hundreds of people in your MBA experience because we want you to be able to reach out to those faculty members. We want you to be able to engage with your peers. And that's something that we've been really intentional about when we're building our online MBA. So the Spartan brand is always really important to us. I've been on many international trips with the MBA space, and whenever I'm wearing a shirt like this or a Michigan State shirt, someone always yells at me, "Go green," and I always reply, "Go white," right? So that brand recognition is something that's near and dear to us. As Abigail said, we also have a very large living alumni network, and we anticipate our online MBA students to be able to engage in that network and engage with their peers. And then I would say, finally, we want our students to feel like they're more than just a cog in the wheel, right? So those intentional experiences, whether it be the global marketplace or it be the optional sync session every week, is really important to us. When we're looking at the applications and making admissions decisions, we're seeing about half are in the state of Michigan and half are outstate, including global applications. So it's going to be a really nice mix of different industries, geographical locations for our students to engage and talk to different peers, because business in India is very different than business in Canada and business here in the United States. So that's what we're really anticipating with the online MBA.
Great. Let's play a little game. And Kara, we'll start with you. Let's pretend that you are an applicant and you're considering your new Eli Broad online MBA program. What would you think would be the number one reason to do it, the pro, and what would be a possible con for you?
Yeah. So I oversee all of our MBA programs for admission. So I know them very well and dear to my heart. I think you have to really think if the MBA is the right fit for you based upon your career goals, right? And what journey is the right fit for you. I think somebody who's looking to make a dramatic career pivot, an online MBA is not the right space. I think Steve mentioned that most of his students are not looking to make a career pivot. They're looking to continue to grow in their industry. And if someone was looking to make a dramatic career pivot, I would say this would not be the program. But if somebody's looking to add tools to their tool belt and continue to grow up that C-suite ladder, an online MBA program is a really great choice for them, especially if they want a program that's flexible and fits within their needs. I speak to a lot of students who are maybe having families right now, having their first child or second child. Maybe they have an expat placement. Maybe they are an undergrad Spartan and they've moved to California and they want to continue with that Spartan brand. That is a great reason to pursue the online MBA. So the flexibility and the know-how of growing upon your management and leadership skills would be the place that I would start first. Fit and the reasoning why is probably what all of us are going to ask in the admission space when we're reviewing your application. Because I've seen a lot of poor applications, and an MBA is not a fix-all for people when they're looking to make a transition or move into a different role. I think a con would be obviously the time commitment and sometimes the cost. Again, I would say that an MBA is an investment in yourself. It will be a great ROI when you graduate, but also 10, 15, 20 years from now. So I think we're looking at economic uncertainty right this moment when we're talking about November 2025. But many of these programs, it sounds like my peers are at least 2 years long. You don't know what 2 years from now is going to look like, and nobody can ever take that MBA away from you. So again, I always say, yes, the cost can be a little bit expensive. It's not an easy degree. If it was, everybody would do it, but it's an investment in yourself that will last forever.
True. And when you speak about a career pivot, for some of you out there who may not know exactly what we mean by that, we mean changing an industry, changing a discipline, or changing geography. Some people, particularly in full-time programs, are able to do all three. We call that the triple jump. So, Casey, what's your pro and what's your con?
Yeah, I think kind of following up on that, I think you can make a career pivot in an online MBA program if you know where you want to pivot and where you want to go. I think maybe the con is if you don't know quite yet, right? And you are really looking for like very tailored one-on-one guidance. And I'm not saying that's not a possibility in some programs. I know some of my colleagues have talked about some of their career advising and industry consultants, and that is becoming more and more the norm in the online MBA space. But I do think one thing of importance in the online space is you have to be willing to put yourself out there, to make the connections, to utilize the resources that are available to you. When you're physically in person, it's a little bit easier for the program to put it right in front of your face and expect you to participate in all of those things. You are physically sitting there in the classroom. And I think in general, in the online space, you have more opportunities, but you have to take the initiative to pursue those. So that's kind of just a general, I think, pro and con maybe of the online space. I think one of the biggest pros that I can think of for our program itself is that we do really allow you to test drive the waters. So if you're not sure if online is right for you, if you're not sure our program is right for you, we really allow you to peek behind the scenes. You can do something as simple as joining a mock class. So faculty come and present on, one of their lectures. You get to see the breakout rooms, you get to see the interaction in an online setting, or you can take a single non-credit course or a single 4-credit course and really get a feel for what the experience looks like. So that's something that's fairly unique and probably not available in most full-time on-campus programs.
Right. Steve, from your standpoint, what would you say is the biggest con and the biggest pro?
Yeah, sure. So, when it comes to the administration of the program itself, certainly everybody on this call, all of our programs have a little bit of its own flavor. But as far as concepts that I've already heard mentioned, without repeating them, I'll just say that I agree when it comes to, program fit and some of the other things that have been talked about here today. When we're talking about pros, particularly for the Purdue Daniels program, first of all, our return on investment has increased over time. What I mean by that is just May 19th of this past year, we had cut our tuition cost, allowing students to have access to a world-class education and provide excellence at scale for the university as well. Additionally, the great part about online education is it's very, very much accessible. And with the way online programs run, especially our particular MBA online, lots of support. I've already mentioned student success coaches. You might not know what that is. What a student success coach is it's not an advisor. Academic advisors in our program focus on plan of study, registration, making sure you're taking the right courses each term. But we have dedicated staff, three different coaches on our staff who help students with all those other things that may be affecting the classroom, whether that's, tutoring, getting them pointed in the right direction for financial aid and tuition assistance, or really, if you're just having a hard time in one of your courses and you need to talk to somebody about it, they are there to help the student and then help them develop a plan in order to move forward as well. So that's one of the greatest things about our program itself is the amount of support that you get, even in an online environment. That's a great pro to have, to know that you're not just alone with a learning management system and a screen, but you have a full team of professionals behind the scenes working hard to help you out, and you're in a program that's going to pay off after graduation. With the price cut and tuition reduction that I talked about previously, on average, our students earn $27,000 more upon graduation from our program as compared to when they started the program. And that pretty much pays for the degree itself once you go ahead and complete the program. When it comes to cons of an online program, what I always like to talk to students about is, learning style. And I'm not strong to adhering to the traditional types of learning styles that we talk about: auditory, kinesthetic, and visual learners, because we're all really just a mix of those things. But how do you interact with the modality or the environment that you're in? Is this the proper modality for you to be engaged? Do you think that you're going to be able to dedicate that 15 to 20 hours outside of work, personal demands, so on and so forth, and make sure that you have enough discipline in order to complete the program? Generally, the people that come into our program, we do see that they have that type of discipline. We see a lot of students who are about mid-career. We don't have a lot of people coming straight from undergraduate into our program. But those professionals that are in our program understand that, hey, yes, this is hard. Yes, I'm going to earn every bit of this degree. I need to engage. And if you can do that in an online setting and maybe overcome, in my opinion, the hardest part about returning to graduate school, it's learning how to become a student again. We'll teach you the rest, but learning those habits, understanding time management, understanding how you learn the best modality for you, that could be a little bit of a barrier, especially at the start of the program. But at the same time, we have that coaching team that's here at Purdue ready to help them.
Right. Abigail, the pro and con for a Kelley MBA.
Yes, absolutely. And I love hearing all my colleagues talk about this because finding the right fit and culture for you is so important in the online MBA search and any graduate school search. But I have a few thoughts for Kelley Direct. So starting off with cons, really surrounding like time and time commitment and time zone. And I mentioned time zone just because our program does require the live class attendance. And so we are in Eastern time zone, so if you are in a time zone where our classes might be at a really inconvenient time of day for you, that would definitely be something you would need to consider carefully with your personal commitments, your work schedule, all of those things. So just understanding the time that our classes meet, which are in the evenings, Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. And then also the fact that our program does require a lot of team projects, which of course would demand that you're meeting with your team and coordinating across multiple time zones and all of those sort of logistics. So that's another thing to consider, that our program does require a lot of teamwork. And then just generally speaking, the time commitment. We know that all of our students and applicants are busy managing their successful careers and many times balancing family, many other commitments. So just understanding and making sure this is the right time for you in your life is super important. So if now's not the right time, that could be a con just because an MBA does require a significant amount of work and effort, like my colleagues have shared. In terms of pros, I want to emphasize our Kelley Direct Professional Advancement Career Services team, which hopefully we'll talk more about career services later. But I think that what we offer in terms of professional advancement and career services is super, super special and unique. We have 16 career coaches dedicated just to our Kelley Direct online MBA students, and a whole suite of career services that are designed intentionally just for our students. Plus, you get the same access to all the other amazing career services resources that our in-person students do. And you can start meeting with the career coach even as an applicant, all the way throughout your time in the program and as an alumni, so you get lifetime access to those services. So our coaches are poised to be able to help all of our career advancers, as well as our career switchers or pivoters, and folks who are just doing the program for additional knowledge acquisition and just wanting to level up in general. So I would say that would be our biggest pro.
Right. I want to deal with what I perceive to be the reservations that some applicants may have before saying yes to an online MBA. And I think one of the reservations that's often expressed, regardless of how people feel if they enter a program and graduate, is the sense that, okay, if it's not really in person, I'm not going to bond very deeply with my classmates or the faculty. Abigail, what do you say to that reservation? Is it true?
Mhm. I think that's fair. Everyone connects in different ways, but thankfully, in our day and age, there's so many ways to connect online and virtually with your classmates and with faculty. So I am confident that if you do the Kelley Direct Online MBA, you'll walk away with just as many relationships as if you did an in-person MBA, potentially even more, because you'll be in classes with folks that are in your cohort, but also folks that are in other cohorts. And another really unique thing to think about is if you're in an online MBA space, you're with other professionals who are working full time, and you can think of your classmates and cohort mates as your next potential boss or the next potential person that will connect you with your job instead of competing against your classmates for the same jobs. So I think that really adds to a sense of
Mhm.
collegiality in the online MBA space. But at least for Kelley Direct, we have so many ways to connect with different WhatsApp groups and LinkedIn groups and our Student Leadership Association. So you can get involved with an association that's either an industry affiliation or an identity affiliation. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we have those in-person experiences that are required and optional ones as well, so that you can meet people in person, face to face. That way, when you log into your next Zoom class, maybe you'll recognize or know more than half or all the people there, depending on which class it is. So nothing replaces that face-to-face interaction, which is why we make sure that we have those Kelley Direct magic moments throughout the program.
Casey, do you think it's possible for students in an online MBA program to really get to know each other?
100%. And actually, one of our alums from one of our early cohorts was at iConverge, which is our annual conference on campus each September. And I think this was probably a year and a half ago now, but she made the comment that some of her classmates from her online MBA program, she was as close with them as her sorority sisters from undergrad. And I just think that's a really cool moment to recognize. And she had also come back to iConverge is open to our alumni as well. And so this was probably her 7th or 8th year in attendance. I think
Hmm.
you get out of a program what you put into it. So when applicants ask me, what's your best piece of advice? It's to me really taking the opportunity for those optional immersions or meetups or in-person connections. I think that's where you're going to get that same experience that you would in the residential space. You can go into this, and it kind of goes back to my previous answer. You can go into this, do kind of the bare minimum. You're still going to work hard, but do your assignments and get the MBA at the end of the day. But there's so much more available. So even if that means you have to take a little bit longer to complete the degree, that's fine. Take advantage of everything that's available to you to get the most out of your experience. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about who my classmates would be if I go to one of your programs. Steve, what is the class profile at Purdue Daniels looks like from an online MBA perspective? In other words, size, gender breakdown, international breakdown, background by work experience.
Sure. Just took a couple notes there so I remember to hit all your points as well. So when we're looking at size right now, we're serving just around anywhere between, we've been fluctuating between about 245 to 260 students total within the program. Each intake, fall is generally our biggest intake, followed by spring, followed by summer, which is probably typical for the other programs on this call as well. When we're looking at the demographics specifically of the students, now mind you, I want to put this disclaimer on what I'm about to say. If you don't fit this mold of averages that I'm about to give you, please do not be discouraged. Please do not be discouraged. These are simply trends that we do track, and it just kind of gives you a taste.
Oh, in fact, you could be encouraged because it may mean the school will want you even more.
Yeah, yes, that's correct. That's correct. So when we're looking at let's start off. Average age is right around 33 years. We do have outliers. We've had students self-report that we had one student that called himself the dad of the program, so to speak. So there are those who are veteran employees that come to our program as well and find great value in it. Additionally, when it comes to male to female, we're 60% male, 40% female. About 20% of our applicants are coming from some type of STEM background. Obviously, with the goals that I've stated in our program previously here on the call, we do attract a lot of those types of students. About 10% of our students are alumni that return and come back to us because they already know how great Purdue is. So they want to come back to Daniels and finish off their graduate level education there as well. When we're looking at international students, we're about 15% international. We have students from 18 different countries, not including the US, from all around the world. The cool part about it, not to backtrack on questions, but when we were talking about immersive experiences and community building, it's always great to see those students travel in for immersive experiences and coursework from abroad. We have people from Turkey that have come in from abroad, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Canada, Mexico, in North America here. So it's always great to see those students come over and to really experience the campus itself. As far as industry background and professional discipline, we see a lot of people coming from manufacturing, technology, defense, energy, but we also see, again, just because those are the averages and the most popular ones, please don't be discouraged. We also see people from healthcare administration. We've seen people in the education realm come back to us as well. We've seen people come in from retail management experience too, looking to go a little bit more corporate. So we get a very wide array of students, but the majority of them are focused in that manufacturing industry realm. And they really appreciate, well, not just them, but all of our students really appreciate the data-driven approach that we take and how they could apply that back to their own industry.
Right. Now, Kara, you're at a little disadvantage here, but I wonder in terms of expectations, how large do you think your first cohort's going to be and what kind of diversity will you have in it?
Yeah, John, I think it would align very similar to our executive MBA cohort. So right
Yeah.
now, the executive MBA cohort, the average age is 36.
Mhm.
We are very similar to Steve, where we're seeing all different industry backgrounds. Obviously, we have strong partnerships with the automotive industry, being not too far from Detroit. So we anticipate a large automotive representation in our online MBA format. I also think that will be relatively smaller than probably the peers on this call our first few years, because again, people don't necessarily know that we have an online
Sure.
MBA
Gotta
format,
get the
right?
word
So we'll
out.
be building up. I would anticipate anywhere between 100 to 120 students. Again, very similar to our EMBA platform. So again, you can ask me in fall of 2026 what our cohort looks like,
Indeed.
but that's what the applications are looking like currently.
That's great. Abigail, class profile at Kelley.
Yes, so each cohort is usually around 200 to 250 for fall and spring. Usually fall's a little bit bigger, like my colleagues have shared. So our overall student body in Kelley Direct is, 1,200 to 1,500, generally speaking. We have quite a national spread and international spread in the student body at Kelley Direct. Around 87% of our students live outside of Indiana, and we have 37 countries of citizenship represented. Age-wise, it hovers around 31 or 32 as the average age, but there's quite a range there, anywhere from 2 years of experience all the way up to, I've seen people with 30 years of experience in the
Whoa.
program. And we have around 12% military, so we do see a lot of military and veteran as well. Lots of industries, we see a lot of healthcare, a lot of product management, consulting, AI and analytics, as well as a lot of engineers in the program as well.
What's your gender split?
Gender split is usually, well, I know for our spring 2025 cohort, it was a 40-60 split where women represented 40%. So we're still building our current spring
Oh,
2026
yeah,
class,
yeah.
but for the whole student body, it's a little bit different, more like 33 women.
Yeah, and then your actual international students in the program would be what? Percentage-wise?
International. So I believe it's around like 12 to 13% if you're looking at like citizenship status, not necessarily them all living outside of the US, since we do have a lot of students who are international working in the US on their visa.
Right. So Casey at Gies, what's the class profile look like?
Well, the class is large, so we see about 1,700 new students per year. I think right over 1,000 this fall, and then looking to 600 or 700 in our spring 2026 cohort. So, of course, with those large numbers brings large diversity. Average age is always around 36 or 37, however, but again, like my colleagues have shared, a really wide array within there. We've seen mother-daughter duos. We've seen grandparents in the program. We see retirees. There really is no right or wrong industry to come from. We see a lot coming from non-traditional business backgrounds. So never, as Steve shared, like never let the traditional profile scare you from pursuing an MBA. Country-wise, we have over 100 countries represented in the program, every state in the US. So class sizes are large, but again, as we've talked about, there's still a real intimacy. Our live lectures are offered 2 to 3 times a week. So it provides variety in when you can attend, but also reduces the class size. You have multiple courses to choose from. So you're never seeing that large of a student population in each individual course. You still have that ability to make the connections with your colleagues and peers.
What percentage of your students are international? Because I'm going to guess that Gies among these group of schools has the largest international cohort in online MBA programming.
Yeah, about 20% are international. 25% come from the state of Illinois, 20% international.
Right. Now, one thing Abigail mentioned earlier was career support. And I think, this varies according to a program and the cost of the program too. Um, but rigorous career support in an online MBA program tends to be rarer than it would be in a full-time program, but not always. That's not always the case. I wonder if you might talk a little bit about what you offer people in terms of support for their career jumps, their career advancement, just the thinking about their professional careers. Let's stay with you, Casey.
Yeah. So traditional career services is not something that we actually provide at Gies. It's not something that our students pay for. It's part of the reason we can keep our tuition at a fraction of a lot of other programs. However, there is tremendous support in non-traditional ways. So we do partner with some platforms for resume review, mock interview preparation, job boards, etc. The real value, as we've talked about, is coming from your peers in your program. So if you're looking to move into a new industry or exploring opportunities at Amazon, you simply get onto our networking platform and you ask for someone that's made that change. You ask for someone that works in that particular sector that you're looking to move into. So the peers in the program really serve that career support and transition. I think Abigail mentioned it, that that may be your future boss or your future colleague. It's opportunities for you to grow your employee base through peers that you meet in the program as well. If you're
Right.
looking to hire, those networking platforms are a great place to post your opportunities.
And Steve, at Purdue, what does career support look like?
Yeah, career support, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have a dedicated professional that serves all of our students here at Daniel School of Business. And they basically serve as the main source of information when it comes to the hiring landscape, building relationships, professional development, and additionally career opportunities. Thinking to myself here as I heard this question, we have had students who have actually gotten term internships within the program while they were studying, obviously, um, and have turned those jobs into careers themselves. In particularly, I'm thinking of one student who was actually picked up into his internship program, not only through our business career services department, but also because he was attending Daniel School of Business, and that really meshed well with the company and what they were looking for. So whether you're just looking to develop well-rounded business acumen skills, professional tact, conduct mock interviews, and learn how to interact with different levels of talent at different companies. We offer different types of coffee hours, workshops, information sessions, and one-on-one coaching that's really going to prepare our students for things like, I know I had said earlier, we're mainly focused on students. We're not mainly focused on, our students are mainly focused on career progression in their own industry, but
Mhm.
we also work with those career changers as well. And we also have a pretty robust area on campus for entrepreneurs and those looking to come up with their own innovations and start their own business. And all these things are going to be available through BCS.
And Kara, I'm assuming that your online MBA students will have the same kind of support your executive MBA students get.
Yeah, they sure do. So we have a very extensive career management team called the Russell Palmer Career Management Team. We have quite a few dedicated career coaches on that team that work with our executive MBA students. We also have a very robust resource center that can be accessed at any time. So things like VMOT, Rocket Blocks, Career Leader that our online MBA students will be able to take advantage of. So we will provide that support for our online MBA students. I think that's what's so beautiful about having a more boutique MBA experience is that you have many different access points to career management, but other things too. Like Steve said, we have the Burgess Institute of Entrepreneurship that our students can take advantage of if they're looking for venture funding and looking to start their own business. Anything that is offered to a Michigan State student will be offered to online MBA students as well. So yes, the career piece is important. And I'll wrap up because I know we're over time.
Yes. So, Abigail, I think you did a good job in outlining the career support that students at the Kelley School get. If you want to add something, please do. Otherwise, we'll go to how can people get more information about your program? Who should they reach out to, either yourself or a member of your team? Abigail, why don't you start?
Absolutely. Thanks, John. So, yes, I did share a little bit about our career services before, but just to reiterate, we do have the 16 dedicated career coaches just for our Kelley Direct Online MBA students. So we're really happy to be able to offer that before you start, throughout the program, and lifetime access. But you also get access to all the same services that our in-person students get as well, with the job boards, employer events, all those types of things. I could go on, but I know we're short for time. So in terms of how to get in touch, how to learn more, I definitely encourage you to check out the Kelley Direct Online MBA website. You can schedule a virtual information session, a one-on-one inquiry call. Our main admissions email is kdirect@iu.edu, so you're more than welcome to email my team, and we would love to meet you.
Steve, how do people reach out to you or a member of your team?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So the first place that you're probably going to want to go to read a little bit more about the program and potentially fill out an RFI form is business.purdue.edu. You'll see all of our programs listed on that website, including the online MBA.
Mhm.
Feel free to fill out that RFI form. If you feel like you would like to contact me and talk a little bit more about the program, my email is sg as in girl bush, sgbush at purdue.edu. You can email me, we could chat, and I'd be more than happy to set you up with either Mary or Savitra on our recruitment team to talk to you a little bit more about the application process.
Fantastic. Casey?
Yeah, I think the best place to get started for us is Gies Online, GIES online at geesonline.illinois.edu, or you can email us at geesonline@illinois.edu. I would really encourage you to connect with one of our team members, connect with one of our current students or alums, or attend one of our events. I shared earlier, we have mock classes, we have faculty engagement, we have coffee chats with current learners. So a lot of different opportunities to connect with us. I think you've done a great start here gathering information, but before deciding what school to apply to, dig in deep, ask the questions. We don't be scared of the recruitment and admissions teams. They are here to help you and support you and want to have that conversation and learn more about you.
And besides, look how welcoming all of you have been. My goodness, no one should be intimidated by this group. Kara, how do we reach
Yeah,
out to you?
I think the easiest way is our website, broad.msu.edu. We have events every week for our executive MBA and online MBA students. So I am the webinar queen, as I say. I have 3 more webinars between today and tomorrow. So we make ourselves very accessible. Feel free to reach out to us via email at mba@msu.edu. You cannot miss us. We are, like I said, very accessible.
Great. I want to thank every one of you, Kara, Casey, Steve, and Abigail, for a great session, and for all of you for watching. I hope we've told you a lot about the different options that you have if you want to pursue an online MBA, what the pros and cons are, the advantages and the flexibility of this degree, which is really remarkable. The schools really want you to take this and do it, and it's a no-brainer investment for sure. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.